Hello everyone, I feel quite poorly today.
Oh, boo-hoo! Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
But instead of not posting, I thought we would do a little watch along of my one and only game on a JDC streaming board. Now this game took place at the JDC Unsigned weekend back in November of 2025, and I was playing a lad called Charlie Ainsworth. Now, a bad habit I have is I always look at my opponent's last few games just so I know what type of game I'm in for, and he actually hit some pretty good averages, so I knew I was in for quite a tough game. And even though we both didn't play our best, as you'll later see, he still gave me quite a tough and good game. Also, one final thing for people who never got to play on the JDC streaming room at Coventry, because obviously it's moved now. It was so quiet. Like, literally the only things you could hear were the darts going in the board. Like, you couldn't hear like an AC, you couldn't hear the people outside. You could hear nothing. And I was so worried about like putting Charlie off, because I'm quite a fidgety person, and when it's so quiet, the fear just amplifies. So if he's somehow watching this and I did put him off, then, you know, I am really sorry. And then after a few more practice throws each, we were ready to bull up. Now, we did the PDC rules, so he went outside, so I needed to hit the 25 or the ball, but I went outside too and pulled a funny face. And then for the rethrow, I went just on the wire again, but this time Charlie was able to pin the 25, so it was Charlie to throw first. We had a little fist bump, and then before you knew it, the game was up and running. Now, after that first start, he managed to recover well, and he was able to pin a 1-2-1. So I now knew I needed 2 trebles at least, and I did hit them, but it was a treble 5, and then it was a treble 7. Now, this first leg, Charlie absolutely battered me in terms of scoring. As you can see there, I was feeling a little bit of pressure, and the 12 there really did not help my case. And then Charlie just seemed so relaxed and so composed. As you can see there, he had a 78 average compared to my 53, so I was feeling a little bit of pressure. And then after that treble, I thought I'd be fine, and then I had a huge bounce out and a slip.
That was really bad.
And honestly, at this point, I'm thinking, right, it's a first to 4. Try not to worry too much, just keep your head up. But this throw here really turned the tide in that first leg. I fluked it into the double 20, and then I was able to compose myself and hit 2 trebles to score me 160. And then a few more darts later, Charlie found himself on double 4, and he went inside, and then his 2 darts at double 2 couldn't find it. So then it was my turn to try and hit double 2. And the first dart, I blocked it, so I had to move over to the right a little bit. I blocked it again, so this time I had to move well over to the left, and somehow managed to find a double 2 and basically stealing the leg off Charlie. But I was now feeling a little bit better, having that 1 leg advantage, and obviously I had the darts, which makes it a little bit easier for a dart player to extend their lead. And then later on in that leg, I found myself on 66, the treble 10 didn't go, and then I dragged it into the double 15, leaving me on 21. Obviously there my maths was rubbish, but then it gets even worse. I hit the 18 to leave myself on 3, which is the dreaded number all dart players want to avoid, because the only way of checking that out is hitting a single 1 and then going to the madhouse for the dreaded double 1. And Charlie was able to pull off an amazing score there. This was very much like the first leg, but we were reversing the tide, where I was much better scoring getting down to a finish. However, he was better at composing himself and getting himself back into the leg, and then eventually hitting the double 10 after what was a really good adjustment on the hockey. And then before you knew it, we had an even game, 1-1. Now this third leg, I have to say, I started it really, really well. I stepped up a little bit confident. There's 1. There's 2. Can I do it? No, I just dragged it down. It's not the 180 miracle, but a 140 is definitely nothing to grumble at. Fast forwarding in the leg, I now have 112. I need the treble, and I can't find it. So that leaves me 72. Wow, my maths was shocking in this game. And I just dragged it into the 4, which leaves me on 68. So here we go then, 68 left. I somehow missed a big number with my first start, but I hit the 13, which leaves the ball, and I just pushed it into the 25. I was gutted. I thought that was going to go. And then Charlie on 122 needs a treble 18 to have a shot at the ball. And it just bounces out. So that will leave him on 86. I return for 25. And the fact about me is I always go for 3 on 25 because I like double 11. And it was a good marker with me first. But on this occasion, I couldn't hit it. I hit 8, which left me on double 7. So Charlie, this 86 really needed to go. And he misses the big number. And it was a good marker. And thankfully, I was able to use that to my advantage and retake the lead. To be fair, in this leg, nothing really major happened up until this point. We were scoring the same. Charlie, a nice turn there. But then this is where it got a little bit cheeky. 155, I pinned the treble 20. And then for some reason, I went for the treble 15, which would have left me bull. I don't even know why I went that way, looking at it back. I don't know whether it was just the pressure or... I don't know, but I managed to recover well, leaving me on 32. And Charlie couldn't take out the 135. So I return for 32. I blocked it with the first dart. And then the second dart went into the double 7. Now, I had 18, but I didn't know. And that's me apologising for my maths being awful. But it's 1 dart at double 9, and I pushed it way too high. So pressure on Charlie to take out 69. Needs a 17. That leaves him the ball. Oh, I actually don't remember how close that was. That was on the wire of the 50. But it didn't matter because the first dart pinned it beautifully into the double 9. So now I'm thinking, this is perfect. I've got the throw for the match until I realise it was actually Charlie's throw. Well done, Tom, you absolute sausage. So here we go then, approaching the back end of the game. And it's fair to say Charlie really struggled on this leg. You can see there the dip in average. Although, to be fair, no one can blame him. It's hard being on a streaming board, and especially when it's not gone your way. It's a horrible feeling. And I could have wrapped it up here, but I just pushed it. So Charlie had to check out 149. And to be fair, the first dart is perfect. And then the second dart, he just missed a 20. But he was able to recover really well, putting the pressure on this double 6. So 3 match darts. I dragged it inside. I needed double 3. I went for it. Tried not to go inside. And thankfully I didn't. But I didn't hit the double. And especially at this point, I'm thinking Charlie ain't missing this. He's found his form again. His first dart on the wire. And his second dart slipped. He reset himself. You can see me worrying. But the third dart hit his flight of the first and knocked it back. So unlucky. And there's me there. I don't even know what I was doing there, to be honest. I went for the split. A little head nod from Charlie. He thinks it's going. But I just dragged it inside of the double 1. So it's another 3 darts for Charlie. And at this point, I felt I knew I just had to prepare for another leg. But it's a similar story, so close, and then it hit the flight again and knocked it into the 15. And then you can see me, just as I approach, say, F it, go for it. And thankfully, for me, it went in, meaning I won the match 4-1. And it meant for the first time at the JDC, I managed to get myself into the last 32, where I'd later go on to lose 4-1 to an amazing player in Oscar Rumsey. You can see me there packing up all my stuff. And then, of course, on the way out, gave a little fist bump to the camera. But that's it. Thank you for watching if you made it this far. And hopefully I'll be back soon. Ta-da a bit.